Welcome back to NFL Nexus, your home for deep dives into what's really happening around the league. Today, we're talking about the Indianapolis Colts. And believe me, they are playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. They've got this ambitious two-part master plan to build a championship-level offense. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how this front office is trying to thread that needle, balancing winning now with building for the future. It's a fascinating case study. And hey, if you like this kind of breakdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video. It really helps the channel out. Let's get into it.
All right, let's start with the big question, the one that keeps every GM in the league up at night. How do you actually build a Super Bowl winning offense in today's NFL? I mean, really, think about it. Do you just go all in with blockbuster trades? Do you throw a mountain of cash at free agents and hope for the best? Or is there a smarter way, a more deliberate, calculated process? Well, for the Indianapolis Colts, the answer is definitely the latter. They're not just winging it. They have a very, very specific blueprint. And that's the key thing to understand right here. The moves the Colts have been making, they aren't just random headlines you see pop up on your phone. No. These are all interlocking pieces of a much bigger puzzle. It's a clear, intentional strategy, all designed to create sustained success, not just a flash in the pan. And it all boils down to two very distinct and absolutely crucial steps. All right, so step one, the foundation, the absolute non-negotiable starting point. Before you can even dream about flashy receivers or a punishing run game, you have to lock down the most important, most difficult position in all of sports, period. And for the Colts, this meant they had to navigate a really, really tricky situation with their veteran leader at quarterback. And when I say tricky, I mean tense. The team was already heading into what was going to be a super complex, super expensive contract negotiation with their veteran QB, Kirk Cousins, and then disaster struck, a season-ending Achilles injury. Everything, and I mean everything, was suddenly thrown into question. This isn't like a sprained ankle, folks. An Achilles tear is one of the most devastating injuries an athlete can suffer, especially for a quarterback who relies on that back foot to plant and throw. It complicated the contract talks immensely. How do you commit tens of millions of dollars to a guy with that kind of question mark hanging over his head?
So how in the world did they go from that devastating injury in December to a brand new contract just a few months later? Well, this timeline lays out the chess game perfectly. First, in early March, the team makes a smart move. They place the transition tag on him. Now, what does that do? It's basically a tool that gives the Colts the right to match any contract offer he might get from another team. It kept him off the open market and bought them some crucial time. But the real linchpin, the moment everything hinged on, was that mid-March medical checkup. That 3-month post-surgery milestone is absolutely critical for an Achilles rehab. And once Kirk was cleared, not just by his own surgeon, but by the team's medical staff too, boom. The path was clear, the trust was there, and they could finally get that deal done.
And man, what a deal it was. $88 million over 2 years. Let that sink in. The Colts didn't just talk the talk, they put their money where their mouth is. A number like that sends a shockwave. It's a powerful message. It tells Kirk Cousins, we believe in you. It tells the locker room, this is our guy. And it tells the entire NFL, we have full confidence in his recovery and his ability to lead this franchise. You just can't overstate it. This is a massive show of commitment, and it became the absolute bedrock of their entire offensive plan.
And you know what? This move really was a win-win for both sides, and you can see exactly why right here. I mean, think about it from Kirk's perspective. Staying in Indianapolis is a huge advantage. He gets to continue his rehab with a medical and training staff that he already knows and trusts. He doesn't have to deal with the stress of moving his family, finding a new house, all that stuff. And maybe most importantly, he doesn't have to learn a brand new, complex offensive scheme while he's also trying to get his body right. That last point is just massive. Knowing the playbook, knowing the coaches, knowing his teammates, it means he can just slide right back into that starting role the second he's cleared. That's a luxury he just wouldn't have anywhere else. Okay, so the foundation is set, the quarterback is locked in, problem solved, championship here we come, right? Well, not so fast. This is the NFL, and solving one big problem often has a funny way of creating another one. The ink was barely dry on Cousins' contract when a new and pretty significant hole opened up on the offensive depth chart.
That massive contract for the quarterback, as essential as it was, has ripple effects on the rest of the roster. You can't pay everyone top dollar. And while they managed to keep their top guys, it highlighted a different kind of void on the offense. And this right here really spells out the next challenge perfectly. So, great news, they did manage to re-sign their number one receiver, Michael Pittman Jr., which was huge. But the problem is, in today's high-flying NFL, one great receiver isn't always enough.
The offense still lacks that other dynamic playmaker, that secondary weapon that can really take the top off a defense. When you've made such a massive investment in your quarterback, you absolutely have to surround him with firepower to get your money's worth. So now there's this critical vacancy, this need for one more guy to elevate the whole group. So let's recap. Step 1 of the blueprint, securing the veteran quarterback, is officially complete. Check. Now we get to see step 2 start to take shape. And the question becomes, how do you find an affordable, explosive weapon to pair with your expensive stars? You can't go back to the free agency well? The answer? You look to the future. You turn to the NFL draft, and you scout the next generation of talent.
And this brings us to a name you might want to get familiar with, Ted Hurst, a wide receiver out of Georgia State. Now, he's the perfect example, the perfect embodiment of the type of prospect the Colts are now targeting. He is the entire second half of their blueprint personified, a young player who is cost-controlled on a rookie contract, but who has a ton of upside. He's the guy you draft to pair with your veteran QB and your star number 1 receiver.
So why a guy like Ted Hurst? What's the buzz all about? Well, the numbers really do tell the story. First off, look at that size, 6'4". That is a massive target who creates immediate matchup problems for smaller cornerbacks. But here's the kicker. He combines that elite size with legit 4.4 speed. That combination is rare, and it's what gets NFL scouts drooling. Now, here's the key part for the Colts strategy. He's projected as a 2nd or 3rd round pick. That means you could get a potential day 1 starter without having to spend your precious 1st round pick. And to top it all off, he was a standout at the Senior Bowl, which is a huge pre-draft event that we know the Colts front office values very, very highly. But it's not just about the measurables. This chart right here tells a really compelling story of progression and drive. Look at this. He starts out at a smaller school, Valdosta State, and puts up really solid numbers. But then he makes the jump. He transfers to a higher level of competition at Georgia State, playing against better, faster athletes. And what happens? His production doesn't just stay the same, it explodes. He goes from good to great, culminating in a 1,000-yard season. This isn't just about raw stats, you guys. This is about a player who got better every single year and proved he could dominate against tougher competition. That is exactly the kind of trajectory that NFL scouts fall in love with. And of course, when you have a player with this profile, you're not going to be the only team that notices. This report here from Ryan Fowler just confirms it. A prospect like Ted Hurst is a hot commodity. He's got official pre-draft visits scheduled with the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons, in addition to the Colts. And look at those teams. Those are smart, well-run organizations. So this tells you it's not just the Colts doing their homework. This is a team targeting a player that other sharp franchises also want. The competition to land this guy on draft weekend is gonna be for real. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. We've looked at the 2 big moves in isolation, right? The massive quarterback contract and the intense scouting of a receiver prospect. Now, let's put it all together and see how they fit, hand in glove, as one single cohesive strategy.
And boom, here it is. This slide just lays out the entire blueprint perfectly. It's so simple, yet so smart. Step 1, solidify the present. Lock in your proven veteran quarterback, Kirk Cousins, with a multi-year deal. You know what you're getting. Step 2, plan for the future. You go into the draft and find a young, talented, and, I can't stress this enough, a cost-controlled weapon to grow alongside that quarterback. It's brilliant.
So the really crucial point here is the synergy between these 2 moves. It's a perfect pairing. The veteran quarterback provides the steady hand, the leadership, the proven production to win games right now. Meanwhile, the rookie receiver provides that explosive potential for the future on a cheap contract. It's just such a smart, sustainable way to build a contender in a league with a hard salary cap. You can't pay everybody. So you invest big money in that one irreplaceable position, quarterback, and you supplement him with affordable, high-ceiling talent that you find in the draft. That's the model. And that brings us to the final million-dollar question, doesn't it? The Colts have executed their blueprint to perfection so far. They've got their quarterback, they've identified their target type. So if they do manage to land a player like Ted Hurst in the draft, is that it? Is that the final piece of the puzzle? Is this 2-step plan really all it takes to elevate this offense from pretty good to truly elite? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I really want to hear your take on this. Thanks for watching this breakdown here on NFL Nexus. If you enjoyed it, please remember to subscribe and hit that like button. And hey, if you're looking for something fun for the NFL fans in your family, be sure to check out our coloring books. They're perfect for kids, grandkids, and even adults. You can find the link right down in the description or by scanning the QR code on your screen now. We'll see you next time.